Wow, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect from my first playthrough, but that was pretty fun. I'm gonna have to say I really enjoyed the part about thinking about what my lore would be, and it's a little hard to do while playing, so I think I'll keep the best of it for these little talks we'll have. If you ever want to join in on the conversation about my character's lore and roleplay and background, but you don't want to watch the gameplay, just look for the word WONDERTALK in the title, and I'll have a description of what happened last time, as well as the ideas of what we're going to talk about together for this week. I decided the best way to relay that would be through a HOLOPAD, some type of journal or diary written by Jaavik himself. So here's his first entry into it on Korriban. I was given this HOLOPAD by my former master, as a way for him to track my progress in the academy. Here, I am asked to throw off my shackles, and no longer follow the orders of slavemasters. But it seems a good idea all the same. Perhaps recording my knowledge of Korriban will allow me to one day escape it. My arrival came as a shock to me. This red planet is nothing like Dromund Kaas, and its appearance caused me to arrive late, to my detriment, and to Overseer Harken's advantage. He, and so many others, seemed to feel a need to spit on me, not only for being a former slave, but also for being Cathar. I'll spit right on them back. I do not know if I should record this, but I saw another acolyte murdered in cold blood by the Overseer for failing her trials. A slave as well. Now I know exactly what my fate will be if I do not play the Sith games. Her name was Korri, and I left her corpse on the ground to complete my own trials. All of us are vying for the favor of Lord Zash, a powerful Sith who seems to already have a favorite in a Sith pureblood named Von Alt. He hates me. I barely know him. I was told to go to the Tome of Paul and meet Spindrel, a lunatic hermit hiding in the tomes, but also thought of as a prophet by Lord Zash. Does that make her a lunatic as well? I did, and passed his trials by defeating many other acolytes. My connection to the Force is strengthening. Every time I step foot into the tombs, the lightning comes quicker to my fingers. I have fought apprentices, Tukata, tome robbers, and Imperial troopers besieged by madness. The Force is currently my ally, but fighting them made me worry it could also have been my enemy, if I was less lucky in the mansion of my master. I will rest a moment here in the shadow of the wilds, and then I will make my way into the tombs once more. As I was walking around Korriban and completing the quests, I really started to wonder about where exactly my Force powers came from, or how they triggered, or how they started. Because of the advanced class that I chose, I actually started off at level 1 with 2 different lightning abilities that were pretty powerful as far as I could tell. And because of the double XP event, I grew more and more powerful in very, very quick amount of time. I think I'm already level 7 or 8 by now. One of the things I got to thinking about was, what was my former master like? I grew up on Alderaan, but then we were captured, and I eventually wound up, well, Jaavik did, as a slave to a Sith Lord, like a serving servant kind of thing, you know, noble servant. And at some point, in some way, he was noticed that he had Force sensitivity and was sent off the academy to train. And the really simple solution for this is that his master was a Sith Lord and noticed that Jaavik had Force sensitivity before anyone else even knew or anything interesting happened. And that's a pretty plausible idea, kind of like they noticed Anakin had Force powers before Anakin did anything interesting, and then he did a lot of interesting things afterwards. But that seems kind of boring. So while I was wandering around the Sith Temple on Korriban, there's a whole bunch of really cool artifacts, and there was like a pool of blood behind a locked door that I couldn't get into. There was like a holocron sparkling on a shelf. I don't know exactly if it's Force powers or magic, but it was doing something crazy. And there was all kinds of just like museum type pieces and Sith ruins and crazy stuff all over the entire temple. It made me wonder if maybe I accidentally touched something that I didn't in my master's house on Dromund Kaas. So my question for you guys today on WonderTalk is, what do you think is the item that I touched or played with, or what did I find that triggered my force powers? Was I force sensitive the whole time and it just needed a bit of a push off the edge? Or did it actually create force powers in me that would have never ever awakened up otherwise? Was it an artifact? Was it something new, something old? Was it Sith alchemy? Was it an artifact of the Emperor? Is it something that a former Sith that we know about, like a Gentapal we heard about in the story and a couple others? Or was it something that my master himself created? Was it something natural, maybe? It could have been like a special plant. Or we actually studied the Tukata in the end of the last playthrough. The Tukata were kind of natural, synthetic, force craziness beings. So maybe it could have been a plant? I don't know. Or a special crystal? What are you guys' ideas? Let me know and I'll start working on the next part of my backstory. See you guys on the next episode of Wonder Talk. Bye!